Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on Wager Talk TV with your college football top 25 video for Week 9 this Saturday, October the 29th, Week 9 of the college football season. We have three huge top 25 head-to-head matchups, the three biggest games in college football for this Saturday, October the 29th. I'm going to give you a free preview of all three games with my math model projections, let you know my predicted margin of victory, my analysis and situational matchup edges, and let you know how you should play these three huge top 25 matchups on Saturday. Quick reminder that this is the heart of the college football season and we are locked in. Last Saturday, a perfect 5-0, 100% sweep for my college football best bets last Saturday at wagertalk.com. If you missed out, shame on you. Don't miss out this Saturday. Locked and loaded, nice and early for you right now are my 5 strongest best bets for this Saturday in college football. Another 5-for-1 special right now. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut code WT.buzz/SM. And by the way, a bonus free play as well on that page. A bonus free play in college football as well on that page. So 5 best bets went 5-0 last week. We also cashed our free play last week. So 6-0 if you played all of those games. I've got another 5-pack for Saturday ready right now along with the bonus free play. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. Seeing college football extremely well right now in the heart of the season. Hey, we got 3 head-to-head top 25 matchups. We've had as many as 5 in recent weeks. 3 this week, but they're 3 really good games. Let's start off in start time order. Top of the schedule at 12 noon Eastern in the Big Ten. Number 2, Ohio State at number 13, Penn State. That goes at noon Eastern on Fox. As we head closer to the weekend, the Buckeyes are more than a 2-touchdown favorite in this game. Currently about a 15-point favorite. Totals around 61. And I do think this line is a bit too high. I use a math simulation. That's what I say power ratings, but it's really a math projection. I run 10,000 simulations with all the data information in my database and computer system, and it projects the average margin of victory. And in this one, it does show the line to be a little bit too high because after all those simulations, Ohio State wins by a little less than 13, 12.8 to be exact. So we'll say a predicted 13-point win for Ohio State, which means at plus 15, there is some line value with Penn State, especially since we're covering that key number of 14 2-touchdowns. The concern here, though, is that Penn State does not throw the ball well. 7.6 versus teams that allow 7.2. Ohio State allows just 5.9. But the Buckeyes have been thrown on at times this year, and I do think Penn State has some backdoor cover potential if needed. Ohio State, very impressive 54-10 win against Iowa last week, but a misleading 54-point output as they had 6 turnovers. In fact, there were some statistical models run. I do a show with Mark Rogers, voice of college football, every week. He pointed out that had Iowa punted on every offensive possession, they would have been better off since they had the 6 turnovers. Ohio State would have had less points in the game. So, and I'm not going to penalize Ohio State. They beat up on Iowa, and they have been really good this year, 49.5 points a game. But it's a step up in class here against a good Penn State team that is solid on both sides of the ball, but not as strong as Ohio State on either side. This game is all about tempo, and we're going to talk about Tennessee, Kentucky in a moment. That game's about tempo as well. You could also make a case Iowa State at home against Oklahoma this week is another situation in which one team has to put up a lot of points, Ohio State, or can put up a lot of points. Penn State cannot play that way. They cannot keep up with them. So I do think the under is worth a look here, and it's somewhat correlated with Penn State. A side total there. I don't recommend parlays, but if you're looking at a correlated parlay, sometimes you find an edge. And I do think Penn State to the under makes sense as they're not going to win a high-scoring shootout. And if you're going to play this game, even though my math model favors Penn State, I think the best option is probably under 61, as this is a high total. I know Ohio State puts up almost 50 points a game, but they give up less than 15 points a game in just 4 yards per play. So I do think they will somewhat limit Penn State's mediocre offense. The big concern for Penn State is the rushing defense. They gave up 418 rushing yards against Michigan a couple weeks ago. So I do think Ohio State will have success on the ground, but that'll keep the clock moving, maybe shorten the game and prevent some big scoring plays from the passing attack. So I think under 61 is actually the best way to play this game at noon Eastern. All right, another big game goes at 3:30 Eastern on Fox, mid-afternoon game for Saturday, and that's in the Big 12. We're looking at number 9 Oklahoma State at number 22 Kansas State. And this is an interesting matchup here because Oklahoma State continues to roll, but you got to wonder what they have left in the tank. This is the team that's coming off really 4 tough games in a row. They had the upset win at Baylor to start the month of October. Then they beat Texas Tech, and then they had a tough double overtime loss at TCU. And keep in mind, they blew a 17-point lead late in that game in that 43-40 loss at TCU. Came back last week as a home dog of almost a touchdown in what looked like a flat spot and got it done against Texas. I mentioned last week that I thought the situation favored Texas, but the math favored Oklahoma State. It actually only made them a 2.5-point home dog, and they won the game outright. This week, the math actually does not favor Oklahoma State. In fact, if you're looking at my projected math model in this game, once again, a simulation of 10,000 games played, the average win is actually Kansas State by 3. So my math model predicts a 3-point win for K-State. So we do get some value at the current line. As we head closer to the weekend, Kansas State is only a 1.5-point home favorite. So there is some value. 3, of course, is a very key number. So as long as this stays below a field goal, I do like Kansas State in this game. Also, as I said, the math favors them, but the situational setup favors them too, because I really think this is a flat spot for Oklahoma State after really 4 straight tough games. Kansas State's coming off a loss to TCU, but they had the bye the week before that, and they had a nice win against Iowa State. They'd won 3 straight. The bye week, they lost last week against TCU as a road dog. No shame in that loss. And they did have a 2-0 turnover deficit. I think they get back on track at home this week. Good team on both sides of the ball, and they are the better defensive team. So we're getting the better defensive team, good scheduling spot, and line value with Kansas State. That goes at 3:30 Eastern Saturday, also on Fox. Final game is an SEC battle on Saturday night. Just a quick reminder, last Saturday, my 5 official best bets. Look, these are leans. These are games in which I'm giving you my math model top 25 matchups. But if you want my strongest plays every week, you need to get my personal best bets at wagertalk.com. And last Saturday, my best bets won a perfect 5-0, 100% sweep in college football. We also won the bonus free play that I put on the site as well. So 6-0 sweep last Saturday. We're looking to do it again this Saturday. I've loaded the games nice and early for you, so you can go get them right now, lock in the best number, and have another 5-0 sweep. Big 5-pack of best bets for this Saturday and a bonus free play. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut code WT.buzz/SM. And by the way, Halloween right around the corner. Get your mask on. Boo. Boo31 gets you a 31% discount on any all-access package. More details on my website as well. So if you're looking for an all-access with NFL included, NBA, Major League Baseball World Series, consider that Halloween special. Full details on my page right now with 31% discount on any all-sports package. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. All right, final head-to-head top 25 matchup goes Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee. Tennessee's been an explosive team this year. Best offense in college football, averaging over 50 points per game, 7.5 yards per play, 11.5 yards per pass. Put that in perspective. They throw the ball 32 times a game. They complete 23 of them. Every time they throw the ball on average is a first down, 11.5 yards per pass attempt, 71% completion. So to say they're an explosive offense would be an understatement. Defense, though, is another story, as they're giving up 5.5 yards per play against teams that average 5.8. So they're just slightly above average defensively, but they just outscore everybody. I mentioned earlier in the Penn State-Ohio State analysis that pace of play was going to be important. It's going to be important in this game also. This would be a great college basketball matchup. And by the way, if you're looking at one of those all-sports packages with that 31% discount on my page right now, don't forget college hoops only a few weeks away as well. And we use pace as a big-time college basketball handicapping factor. And this is a slow down versus fast-paced team. Kentucky has to play slow. They don't want a shootout. They've gone under in 6 of their 7 games this season. Tennessee has gone over in 5 of their 7. So you can see which team needs to slow it down. Whether Kentucky can do so or not is the big question. They are a good defensive team. In fact, they're the better defensive team in this game. They give up a touchdown less per game, almost a half a yard per play less defensively. And they are capable offensively. They haven't run the ball well this year, but they've been very good throwing the ball. 9.5 yards per pass attempt. So from a matchup perspective, if they can keep it close, they do have some backdoor cover potential. And oh, guess what? Tennessee has the biggest game of the season on deck. I know what you're saying. The biggest game of the decade was against Alabama a few weeks ago. Well, they won that game, so now the biggest game of the season is next week at Georgia. And you do have to wonder if maybe there's a little bit of a look ahead there. So the scheduling spot and the better defensive team is getting points here. Here's the problem and why we're having to pass on this game overall. The current point spread is 12. My math simulation favors Tennessee by 17. So this is a situation where the setup favors one team in Kentucky, the math favors the other team in Tennessee. I will say that the math model sometimes does favor teams that are high-profile offensive teams like Tennessee a little bit more than it should because they blow teams out. But this point spread is still too low at minus 12. I'm not getting in front of this team. I got to get at least 2 touchdowns or more to look at Kentucky. So this game's going to be a pass. I do think if you're looking at a side total parlay, you can make a case that Kentucky and the under is somewhat correlated. I mentioned that in the Penn State and Ohio State game as well. I don't see Kentucky winning a shootout. So Kentucky and the under is somewhat correlated. Tennessee and the over. If I had to play the total, I would probably lean over the total in this game just due to the fact I don't like this Tennessee defense. The offense, though, is fantastic. And I do think, as I mentioned earlier, Kentucky can score some points in this game. The problem with the over, and the reason I'm saying off this total, is that the pace of play, you don't want a fast pace if you're Kentucky. They want to have to try to slow it down. Thing is, they don't run the ball well. So I'm not sure they can slow it down. So if I had to play this game, I'd go over 61. It's mentioned, I mentioned under 61 Penn State, over 61 Tennessee. It's ironic that both have very similar totals here, and both have a fast team versus a slow team. So we'll see how this one plays out. That goes at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Saturday night. All right, those are your 3 head-to-head top 25 matchups in college football for Week 9, Saturday, October the 29th. 3 huge games this week, and I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do me a favor. Give it a thumbs up, a like. Make sure you hit subscribe, and if you want to be the first to watch my NFL Fade the Public video on Saturday afternoon when it goes live, hit the bell for instant alerts when videos go live. And most importantly, leave me comments below. Let me know your thoughts on these top 25 matchups. Will you agree or disagree with the math model? Hey, look, it's just numbers. I don't always agree with the math. You got to look at the situational analysis as well. Let me know your best bets for college football this Saturday. And let me know what you're wearing for Halloween on Monday. Put your mask on. Let me know your costume. Let me know your best sports-themed costumes. My son's going as zombie baseball player. Not bad. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know some sports ideas for Halloween costumes and what you're going as this Monday as well. You're never too old to trick or treat, especially if you got a good mask on. Hey, thanks for the support. Leave some comments below. Like, thumbs up, and subscribe. And don't forget, 5-0 sweep last Saturday in college football. We're looking to do it again this Saturday. My best bets are loaded nice and early. They're ready right now. A 5-pack of winners for Saturday college football, plus a bonus free play as well. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut code WT.buzz/SM. Best of luck. Enjoy the college games. And don't forget to check back Saturday afternoon for your NFL Fade the Public video right here on Wager Talk TV.